Hey guys, today's language arts assignment is talking about common errors that we make with subject-verb agreement, which we've already learned about. So this is just going to refresh us on some of those errors that we tend to make, some of those mistakes. So you will need language arts page 47 to complete after this video. All right guys, let's talk about some of those common errors or mistakes when it comes to subject-verb agreement. All right, let's review the first rule. When the parts of a compound subject are joined by and, use a plural verb. So what that's saying is when we join things together with and, it's like we're adding things together. Okay, I would like an ice cream cone. I would like an ice cream cone and a piece of chocolate cake. All right, so if it's just the ice cream cone, that's one. But now I want an ice cream cone and a piece of chocolate cake. Can y'all tell I have a sweet tooth during all this? So that means I want more than one thing. So that's all that's saying is when you join two parts together using and, then we have to use a plural verb because our subject is now plural. All right, let's look at an example of this on your activity page 47. Natural beauty and spectacular scenery abound in the United States. So if we look at our subject, we have natural beauty and spectacular scenery. Because we've joined those together with the conjunction and, we're talking about two things, not just one. So your subject has to agree. So we would say abound. If it was just natural beauty, and we didn't say and spectacular scenery, we would say natural beauty abounds in the United States. When it's a singular subject, we add that S to the end of the verb. Remember, when it's a plural subject, we don't have that S on the end of the verb. All right, so let's talk about the rule that is kind of the opposite of what we just talked about. When the parts of a compound subject are joined by or nor, then the verb agrees with the subject that is nearest to it. And that is because when we join two nouns together to make the compound subject with or, we're talking about one or the other. So it's still singular. And joins them to make more than one. Or and nor still are saying it's just one singular subject. All right, so let's look at the example to go along with that rule on activity page 47. Either a beach or a tropical forest typifies the Hawaiian Islands. So we see we have beach or a tropical forest. That means one or the other. Do you hear that? One or the other, and one means singular. So when this happens, we look at the verb typifies. Now, in that compound subject, which subject is closest to the verb typifies? It would be a tropical forest. So it's almost like you just cover up everything before a tropical forest, and you act like that's your complete sentence. A tropical forest typifies the Hawaiian Islands. So because we're just talking about one, a tropical forest, we have to make sure that that verb agrees. So we have to add that S to the verb. All right, and here are just a couple of more review rules. One thing you need to remember is when a verb ends with a consonant and then a Y, you have to change the Y to an I and then add ES to form a singular verb. Remember, we talked about how singular verbs are opposite of singular nouns. We don't add S or IES or ES to the end of a singular noun, but we do to the end of a singular verb. All right, so what happens if the verb ends with a vowel and then a Y? When a verb ends with a vowel and a Y, such as journey, add an S. Do not change the spelling of the verb because there's a vowel before the Y, not a consonant. The only time we change that Y to an I and then add ES is if there is a consonant before the Y. And we know what our vowels are, right? A, E, I, O, and U. So if it's not one of those vowels, you know it's a consonant before the Y. All right, so let's look at part A on activity page 47, and we'll do number 1 together. The instructions on part A say circle the correct form of the verb in parentheses that agrees with the compound subject. Number 1, flat plains and rolling hills cover or covers most of Kansas. Well, let's look at that compound subject. It's joined together by which conjunction? And. So because it's joined together with and, it's making it more than one. It's a plural subject. So we would use cover. Flat plains and rolling hills cover most of Kansas. Now, if that was or instead of and, flat plains or rolling hills cover or covers most of Kansas. Which subject would we look at? The first one, flat plains, or the second one, rolling hills? We would just look at rolling hills because it's joined together by or. So you would cover up flat plains and. All right, now just look at it like this. Rolling hills, is that singular or plural? That's plural. Hills is plural. Rolling hills cover most of Kansas. Okay, you should be all set to complete activity page 47. If you have any questions or need any help, you know how to get in touch with me. Have a great day.